All coming tonight. Game School is, what we're doing is we're teaching everybody, we're teaching people how to build games. And in 12 weeks, we're doing a boot camp. So what we started is to really bring together people in the community to talk about indie game development. And my name is Charlie Trinh. I was a Disney game producer for 6 years down over at Glendale. And after leaving, I really was looking for something that was more meaningful in the gaming industry. And after about a year, met great, amazing people in the community and really wanted to bring everybody together. Because in the indie game space, I feel like everyone just scattered doing their own thing. So really bringing people together. And tonight we have a great panel of amazing game and veterans. And we're gonna find out more about what they've done. Oh, and we want to thank Tom for bringing the magnetic 3D TV. If you guys have checked it out, that's kind of the future of 3D, I mean without the glasses, so it's really exciting stuff.
Welcome. Thanks for having us. If you have any questions at the end, just come find us.
Cool. So we got Jay here, co-founder of White Moon Dreams Games, and he started at EA, then went to Insomniac.
I started actually
Virgin Interactive, okay.
So Virgin Interactive, Looking Glass, Midway, a company called Mobile Jumbo, Insomniac, EA, started a visual effects company, sold the visual effects company to start White Moon Dreams.
Next we have Eric Gibbs-Gerwitz. He was that lead designer at Activision, and then came to work as a director at Pandemic, working on titles like Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, Lord of the Rings, Call of Duty Clan Wars, and eventually Rock Prodigy at different studio, right?
Yeah, so I started at Activision, then I was at Pandemic Studios as a director for a number of years, and then about 5 years ago founded my own game company with my partner about 5 years ago, and we've been working kind of a split between developing our own indie games and then working with publishing partners like Electronic Arts and Activision and Disney on work-for-hire mobile games.
Okay. We have Ed, and Ed's worked at EA, also Pandemic, Sparks Unlimited, and now you're founder of M2X, which is a company that does user experiences and UI.
Yeah, focusing on gamification and doing virtual reality UX for game and non-game related projects. So, been doing it for about 15 years, making games. So.
And Jason, who's on the phone right now, he got a master's at USC for gaming and films, and he actually started his own indie gaming. It was an award-winning game in an education game conference called Covalence. It was about organic chemistry. So, and now Jason is also a co-founder of Game School, and we're really developing the boot camp.
Yeah, so I went through grad school at USC. Didn't have a classical computer science background like that, learned to code, so I could figure out how to make the games I wanted to. Then went and made the company making Covalence. After that, I'm here doing product management here at Bar Studios, and also making games.
What are some of the things that motivated you guys going from big publishers like EA or Pandemic, or even USC, but choosing to go the independent game studio route instead of going back into a bigger studio and working as a director or producer? We'll start with DJ.
Well, it depends on the main thing with being at a big studio was that you have I was a tech art director for the Central Technology Group for EA, and we would build technology solutions for all the different game teams. And we had this raft of amazing people, artists and engineers and all that, and you could not move them fast enough. It was impossible. There were all these layers of bureaucracy, right? And I spent more of my career working with small teams. Even when I was at EA, I would always create these small teams and work with them. And then when I was handed this whole you have to work across several EA studios, everything ground to a halt because all the layers of bureaucracy. So my passion is iterating on shit quickly, and the inability to do that was so frustrating. And trying to pick through the bureaucracy and the political mess of places like EA and like Activision, and even some small companies have this. somehow they set up these very crazy hard chains. It made it impossible to actually do anything. So the nice thing about
Do
being
you have any
indie,
specific games that actually were halted or it failed or didn't do too well
Well,
because of the bureaucracy?
all the games that came out of those big studios, if any of them came out, it was a miracle, right? It was always through brute force of spending money and crunching people and stuff like that. So there was no like efficiency for it. It was just like add more people, contract more companies in to help stop the bleeding. There's this one anime that I watched a long time ago. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was not Paddle, I don't remember. But they had these guys that were powering a ship, and they were just using like all their brain power to power the ship, and their heads would explode, right? And then they just replaced it with another guy. That's what those guys just keep throwing dudes at the trial, and it's like you're not solving anything, right? Like the game would go on for years, and nothing would get done. So, or they would eventually come out, but the list of failures is much bigger, right?
The other benefit that I would add to the independent studio that I feel really fortunate to be a part of is when you're in part of a major studio, you can only work with the IPs and the games that you're on. And when you're independent, it allows you to have the freedom to develop new IP and to explore stuff, but also to work with a variety of different licenses. And so at Seismic, we're able to work with Disney on their licenses and Activision and EA and on their licenses without having to commit to that. The only downside I'd add is the most successful game companies that I usually know are ones that take one kind of game and they iterate it on it over and over and over again, and they just make that kind of game for 30 years, and that's not...
Until it stops cashing out, right?
Until it stops cashing out, and then they shift. Blizzard has been an example of not doing that, of really kind of taking bold steps in different directions of gaming, but it's a little bit of a conflict because on the one hand, as an independent game company, you want to be able to be nimble and explore different ideas. But success historically has been if you find something, you make Crossy Road, you just make Crossy Road for the next 20 years, and eventually you'll be very successful because you're the Crossy Road guys.
For me, I really kind of felt that going independent was about facing a personal fear, about facing down this fear of not having stability, not having a regular paycheck, being able to have a little bit more control over kind of my personal destiny, rather than being determined by a bean counter in an office up in the San Mateo or the Bay Area, where it's like, hey, the game didn't meet the deadline, didn't meet the projections, or the company you're working for wasn't able to get greenlit for the sequel or something like that. I kind of wanted a little bit more control over my destiny, so that for me was like a big motivation for going indie. It's like, what can I?
My big interest was in education. I like teaching other people things, and so my big thought was, I'm never going to go to some big company like EA and go, here I have this game to teach chemistry, right? Like they're going to be like, who do I shoot, right? We're like, okay. So my thought was the only real way I can do this is by going in. And so I went on and did it myself with some money that I saved up and some friends that I had, at the school. And it was a really cool experience. It was sort of just all like, you don't really know exactly what you're doing until you sort of do it and go, all right, well, here's the next step. So you go from there. So yeah, I mean, that's sort of been my path. I was always really was the choice. And as Giz said, like nowadays with these sort of technologies, with Unity and these sorts of things, you don't need a big team, right? You just need sort of a handful of people to make your idea and to go from there.
Giz Gewirtz, co-founder of Seismic Games. With regards to Game School, there's a real opportunity there for someone to get into the games industry, figure out what they want to do in the games industry, and explore different opportunities.
My name is Ed Moore, and I'm the founder of Amped UX. And I think Game School is a good idea. It's a cool thing because we've seen in other software industries this business model where you don't have to go to school for 4 years and put yourself in debt for well, how much does tuition go for these days? 40,000, 60,000, 100,000 to put yourself through school. I think that it's a lot more affordable and targeted, and you can go into a 12-week program and come out with real results. You come out with a piece of software that you've worked on with a team that you can go and put into your portfolio, and you can take it and show it to prospective employers. So it's just, I think it's a bigger bang for your buck, and it'll get you to where you want to go faster.
Hi, my name is Jay, and I'm the CEO and tech artist for White Moon Dreams in downtown LA. And this game school is pretty interesting. It might actually be one of the first few real schools teaching you about game development.